blockade is unlawful, with all the consequences that flow from this. For this reason, the boarding of the flotilla was unlawful, unless it could have been justified on grounds other than the blockade.
Israeli soldiers boarded the ships of the Freedom Flotilla in the high seas of the Mediterranean and took the lives of 9 people in a premeditated manner. The soldiers had lists of those who had to be executed. The Israeli forces used unacceptable barbaric actions.
Not only disproportionate, but it concluded criminal, barbaric and brutal actions.
I give the floor to the representative of United Nations Watch.
Thank you, Mr. President. UN Watch wishes to thank the mission for acknowledging yesterday that Resolution 41, which created the flotilla probe, contained, quote, apparent predeterminations, and that, quote, the tenor and wording of the preambular and operative parts of the resolution indicate a certain bias. We also thank the mission for urging this Council that, quote, greater care should be taken not to give the appearance of prejudgment of matters to be investigated. In light of the Council's long and well-known record on such matters, we would be interested to hear the mission's views on the reasonable likelihood that this change will occur, and whether the mission has any concerns that its work has aided and encouraged, and is now in the hands of, those who, in the mission's own words, resort to bias, predeterminations, and prejudgments. Mr. President, we turn now to the report. UN Watch submitted a substantial amount of relevant evidence to the mission. What was disregarded by the report? In particular, numerous items documented the jihadist intent and actions of the IHH militants on the ship. One report showed that 7 of the 9 passengers killed had declared they wanted to die as Shahids. The evidence included the following interview of one of the passengers. Quote, when I went on the first convoy, I wanted to be a Shahid. I wasn't that lucky. Second time, wanted to be a Shahid. Didn't work. Third time lucky. Inshallah, I'll be a Shahid. So I'm not worried. If Israelis dare to try to fight us, we're going to give them a really good fight. Let them try. We'll show them who we are, because we're Muslims. We're not scared to die. And I know, for a fact, they love to live. End quote. All of this is probative to what really happened, to the true nature and intentions of the so-called humanitarians. How is it then that the words martyr and Shahid feature nowhere in the report? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
With respect to UN Watch, I want to assure them that we took into consideration the 2 references they referred us to, which were a panorama program and information contained in the Turkey report, with which we were already familiar. We alluded to the fact in our report that we paid particular attention to eyewitness reports. In any event, the particular matter to which Human Rights Watch has drawn our attention this morning, the UN Watch, I beg your pardon, was not something which would have altered our conclusions as to the lawfulness or otherwise of the Israeli intervention. It would not have made the blockade lawful, and therefore it would not have made the interception lawful. It could not have changed our thinking in any way. In any event, I'll merely make the comment that the mere fact that somebody wants to be a Shahid, and that is a term which is new to me, because where I come from, we don't know this term. But the mere fact that somebody wanted to be a Shahid was not an excuse for making them realize their ambition so to be, by the summary execution that we found. I have no further report.
We have approached our task that the Council gave us the opportunity to do with a view to seek the truth within the context of the law. And it's very easy to make a wishy-washy report so as to avoid the wrath of a criticized government or its friends. I was most interested to hear the observations that the learned chairman of the mission has just dealt with, namely the observations by UN Watch. The remarks made by the representative of UN Watch betrays, I'm afraid to say, a fundamental and undenying ignorance of the law. Great store is placed on the fact that there were people on board the Mavi Marmara who declared, perhaps with some bravado, that they were willing to die. But where was the imminent threat to Israel? Well, of course, we found that a photograph of somebody with a catapult in the course of making our inquiries. No doubt that catapult was there to sink one of the 2 Israeli submarines that were part of the naval force. Indeed, to re-emphasize what my colleague, Judge Hudson Phillips, has said, is this. Even if bin Laden himself was on board the Mavi Marmara, it wouldn't have made the blockade legal. In the same way as we have found that Israel has acted unlawfully in this instance, it is right to say that every time that Hamas fires a rocket aimlessly into Israel, that organization also commits war crimes. I hope that in the not-too-distant future that the peace will descend upon troubled lands and upon troubled peoples. That's all I wish to say. Thank you.